Hi, this is Jim Ave, your professor for Kinesiology 792A Practicum in Physical Education 1, and also the program director for the Masters of Arts in Kinesiology. I want to welcome you to our class and to uh, the graduate program and to Fresno Pacific University. This is our first class together, and one of your first classes in the master's program here at Fresno Pacific. You're also taking this class and Kinesiology 710, which technology and kinesiology at this time. And as a reminder, you've enrolled in 3 courses for the spring semester, but you'll just take 2 classes right now, this class and the 710 course. The technology and kinesiology class is 8 weeks. And so that class ends in March. Then we have our spring break after the 8-week course. And then I think on March 14th, you'll start your your third class, which is Kinesiology 771, Research Methods in Kinesiology, just so you're aware of that. Just some stuff to give you some information about the structure of the program in your first semester. In this presentation, what I'm going to cover is just an overview of our class, my expectations of you as a student in this course, and some tips to help you with our class in the program. But to start, let's go ahead and read a Bible verse that I have included. I try to include Bible verses in all my syllabi, whatever way you wanted to say it. If you're not aware of it, Fresno Pacific University is a Christian university, and the professors in the program are followers of Christ, and we take that serious, as I've described in the Moodle orientation videos in the Moodle orientation class. Hopefully you've been over to the Moodle orientation class and gone through some of the materials there. It's one of the things I'm going to talk about in a little bit to be successful in our program. But anyways, the verse I have here is from Romans, the book of Romans, written by Paul, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. This is from the English Standard Version of the Bible. And Paul wrote, "I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." That is such 2 powerful verses. I picked that passage for this class because a couple years ago this was the university's verse for the year. I still love it. It's one of my most favorite verses in the Bible because it teaches us that we should use our lives, our bodies, to please God as something that's pleasing and holy and acceptable to God, and that's our act of worship to Him, and not to be conformed to what happens in this world, but be transformed by God, by the renewal of your mind through His Bible, through His Holy Spirit, so we can understand what God wants of us, and by understanding God's will, we understand what is good and pleasing to Him. So this is a brief overview of what this passage means. Got any other questions? Feel free to ask. Guess I should have said at the beginning of this presentation, if you haven't already downloaded the syllabi, hopefully you've done that, and so you have the syllabi in front of you. As you can see in your syllabi, you can see my name and phone number and all that information, but I blacked it out in our presentation because this is also on YouTube and don't really want my cell number out there on the internet. But this is the spring 2016 semester. This is a 3-unit course, and this is a 16-week course, so this class goes for the entire spring semester. So the class starts January 11th and will end May 6th this semester. It's fully online, and I'm the teacher for the class, Jim Ave. You can call me Jim, you can call me Dr. Ave, Dr. A, whatever you want to call me, that's fine with me. I'm not all into titles that much. My office when I'm on campus is for sure I'll be on campus Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the times I have listed there. Doesn't mean that's the only time you can contact me. Probably the best way to contact me for questions and concerns is via email that I have in there. You can text me on my cell number that I provided, and I just put time limitations. When you can call or text me. Now, if you call me on my cell phone number, if I don't recognize the number, more than likely I won't answer. Just leave me a voicemail and I'll get back to you. You can also text me, as I said. And I also have my office phone number that you can call me at. And again, if I'm not there, if it's Monday, Thursdays, or Fridays, I may not be in my office. For sure, I should be on campus Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 9 to 11 and 1 to 4. But the other days of the week, I tend to work at home. Now, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, especially Friday mornings, because I watch my girls on Friday mornings. Not too responsive, but Friday afternoon and Saturday, especially Saturday and Sunday, I don't check Moodle all that often on the weekend. So if you have questions about the course, best to get those things earlier in the week, and I'll talk about how to do that in a little bit. I'm here to help you, but weekends are also pretty busy for me, as it is for you. So what is this practicum in physical education about? Basically, the gist of this course is that we want you to investigate. Well, it's a professional development course is the easiest way to think about this. We're going to look at either depending on your job, which I'll talk about in another presentation, is you'll either develop a professional portfolio based on the National Physical Education Standards, which is now by the Society of Health and Physical Educators, SHAPE, the national standards for K through 12 physical education teaching. Or the coaching standards, which are through the National Association for Sport and Physical Education, NASPE. So there's domains 1 through 4 that we'll work on for this class. If you're a strength and conditioning person, we'll use the National Strength and Conditioning Association standards, and we'll work on standards 1 through 4 in this class. So basically what we're going to do in this class is you're going to develop 3 professional portfolios demonstrating how you satisfy the standards depending on what you do for a living at your workplace. And I'm going to have a separate presentation talking about that particular assignment that you'll watch. We have found that over the years we've been teaching this class since we started this program, so over 10 years now. This class is really beneficial to students because it's a time for you to reflect on your teaching, your coaching, or your strength and conditioning practice, how you've improved over time, how you can continue to improve, and how you're actually demonstrating that you are meeting the standards that you're required to meet. A lot of the coaches don't even realize that they have standards that they're supposed to be following. I'm going to skip all this information. You can read the program, the mission statement, the program, student learning outcomes, the class outcomes, and all those things on your own. Let's look at our required text for our class. Hopefully you've already purchased the Courage and Calling text for class. If not, if you haven't purchased the Courage and Calling text, you should be able to get that on Amazon as an ebook. Really, we're going to use this book. Basically, it's like a devotional time. What I like about, and I'm going to have another presentation talking about the assignment for this a little bit more, but you'll see in the the syllabi schedule. I have assigned what chapters you're going to read for each week. Basically, we'll read this entire text through the class, and again, I'll have a different presentation talking about the assignment associated with the Smith book. Now, hopefully by now you've already bought your book based on what you do for a living. If you're a PE teacher, you should have bought the Shape Standards book. I have provided you a PDF version of this in the class that you should be able to download. I've also provided in the class the California State PE standards. If you are not in California, don't use the California standards. And I'll talk about this more in that presentation. The coaching, the majority of the students who are in this class that are coaches, that's your primary job. You'll use the coaching standards, and this is the book for that. If your primary job is strength and conditioning, then you'll download the strength and conditioning standards that I've provided in class for you. If you have questions on what book or books you should purchase, email me and I'll answer that for you. Most of you have asked me that question already, and hopefully I've given you that information. One thing you should know about this class, let me scroll down, I'll go back up, is this class is what's called a credit, no credit, pass, fail is another way. Think about this. In order to earn credit in this class, you must earn a B, and a B in our class, in this program, actually, a B is 82% to 87.49%, or 87.5% is a B in our program. But you need to earn a B or greater on the professional portfolio assignments and a reflection paper assignment in our class. So it's not total points for this class. It's these 4 major assignments that you have to earn a B or greater. So let's go back up to these assignments. You see we have 3 professional portfolio assignments, 3 progress reports, 1 reflection paper, a courage and calling reflection and threaded discussions. I'm going to have separate presentations for the professional portfolio. Actually, I'm going to have several presentations on the professional portfolio. I'll have a separate presentation for the progress report, and I'm going to include the courage and calling reflection assignment in that progress report presentation, and I'll have another presentation later in the class with the reflection paper assignment. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with these right now because we'll have separate presentations. One thing I will say that you'll see in all the classes in this graduate program that we have what's called a signature assignment. And the signature assignment is the major assignment for this program. They take quite a bit of work. Each class is set up different. This class we have 3 separate professional portfolios, or 3 separate signature assignments. And there are 3 professional portfolios. That's not typical in the program. Typically, you just have 1 signature assignment. But since this class is a practicum, most of the work you're going to be doing is not in class like you would do in a lot of the other classes. So you'll see in the schedule, which I'm going to go over here now. This schedule is a little bit different than most of your classes in the program. And so for this week, in our first week of class, I have asked the PE students to read what I have here. And you'll see in the PE standards that it's separated by what level your objectives are separated by the what level that you are teaching. So if you're a middle school PE teacher, read this chapters. In addition, this is what you want to read is chapters 1 and 2. And then if you're a middle school teacher, you read this chapter and these pages. But if you're a high school PE teacher, then you'll read that chapter and plus addition chapters 1 and 2. But if you're a coach, you're going to read the introduction and the material for domain 1. If you're a strength and conditioning, excuse me, this is incorrect here. Let's go ahead and erase that. You'll read the preface, the introduction, and the material about the pre-participation screening and clearances, because that is the material that you're going to be developing for your first professional portfolio. So your task this week is to write your introduction and executive summary draft for the assigned standards, which are below here. This is a rough draft, and again, I'm going to have a separate presentation talking about this, which I'll explain about the introduction, the executive summary, more about the standards and all that. This is due this coming Sunday, January 17th. Plus, what you need to read is the first chapter, Courage and Calling. You won't turn anything in until the second week of the class. So the first week, what are you doing? You're doing a bunch of reading. You're writing your introduction, your executive summary, and I do also have a forum inside the class and that you'll see in the class. In week 2, you're going to find an artifact for your first professional portfolio and write a rough draft. Now, I'll have a presentation in week 2 about this section of your professional portfolio, and you'll provide a rough draft. And then what I'm going to do is give you feedback. You'll turn this in on Sunday. I'll give you feedback hopefully by Tuesday. And then based on the feedback from your first rough draft, you'll make any changes to your first rough draft. Include that with your second rough draft with this artifact and professional portfolio section. And you'll turn that in on Sunday, January 24th. And then you also have a progress report, due that also Sunday. You'll post your Courage and Calling reflection forum that Sunday. Again, I'll have more presentations in week 2. In week 3, you write your reflection section, rough draft. That's due on the 31st. You'll continue a threaded discussion on the Courage and Calling. You should read. There it is. Read chapter 2 and 3 for Courage and Calling in week 3. And then in week 4, your first professional portfolio is due by Sunday, the February 7th. And then you have another Courage and Calling reflection forum on the 7th. Then week 5, we start all over again. We start working on professional portfolio 2. You read chapters 4 through 6. You read the material that's assigned here, and you start working on your next portfolio. What I do not do in the rest of the class is you don't do rough drafts again. I'm happy to read rough drafts of your professional portfolio, but I'm not requiring that. It's just for the first professional portfolio. So that's basically how our class is designed from here. So week 5, you start. What I suggest, and I put it in the class, is that you write your summary for the assigned material in the this first week in week 5. In week 6, find your artifact, write the artifact section. Week 7, write your reflection section. And week 8, your next professional portfolio is due. We have spring break. We come back after spring break, start working on your third professional portfolio. Write your summary. Week 11, we have Good Friday. Find your artifact, write your artifact section. Week 12, write your reflection. Week 13, turn in your third professional portfolio. Week 14, start working on your reflection paper. And by the end of week 16, you'll on May 1st, you'll turn in your your reflection paper. And in week 17, last week of classes, you'll do a threaded discussion. So that's kind of our class in a nutshell. Some assignments. So this will be the last part of this presentation. A little bit longer than I really wanted it to be. My expectations for you as a student are that all your assignments should adhere to APA guidelines and formatting. You probably don't know APA. You are expected to learn APA. I have provided information about APA in our Moodle orientation class in the introduction assignment. I provided you a template for the classes. For other classes in this class, I've provided you also a template for the professional portfolio. But for all your assignments, you should use that APA formatted template. And you should include title page or cover sheet with your name, title of the assignment, the instructor's name, course number, course named, date. You're going to lose points if you don't do that type of stuff. All the assignments will be submitted in Moodle using the appropriate assignment link or form. Don't email the assignments to me. You should use Microsoft Word. I prefer that over a rich text format. Now, if you are a Mac user and you have Pages and you use Pages as a Mac user, you can export that as Microsoft Word, and that's what I do want you to do. I am a Mac user myself, so just so you know that. Other thing to be successful in this class and this program is this is a 3-unit course. It's you should expect to work about 8 to 10 hours per week doing the coursework. I don't know if it's really that high. It just depends how fast you can write. But I would really recommend that you don't wait to the last minute to develop your portfolio. This is one of the reasons why I've included rough drafts the first 4 weeks in this, or the first 3 weeks in this class. Is because I want to get you guys in a rhythm of how to do these portfolios. And don't wait to the last minute to develop your portfolios. Don't wait to the last minute to do any of your coursework. Don't wait to Saturday to do your coursework. If you wait to Saturday to do your coursework in this grad program, your work is going to suffer. Believe me, the faculty can tell by the questions that you ask when we've provided a lot of the information in the presentations like I'm doing. The first question, if you ask me about something, and if I've posted it somewhere in the course that you should have read or listened to, I'll ask you to go back and listen to that or read that. Since this is a practicum, you are expected to work at least 9 hours per week in your professional area, which would be PE teaching, coaching, or strength and conditioning. You will be expected to report your number of hours in your various assignments in this class, which I'll talk about in another presentation. I do expect you to actually use your FPU email, check that regularly. If you don't want to check your FPU email inside the Moodle orientation class, I have provided a video on how you can forward your FPU email to another email account that you'll actually check. But I do expect you to check that regularly because if any changes in classes are made, you'll get an email about them, and they'll be also in the course announcements, and you are held accountable for those changes that are sent to you. Also, come into class and check it at least every other day in this class. It may not, I would do at least every other day, every third day to see if there's any new information. I will typically open up the next week. Like for week 2 in this class, I'll open it up Sunday mornings, either before I go to church or after I go to church. So at least you'll see what's coming up for the next week. I expect you to read the directions here in the syllabi. I've provided a lot of information about the assignments, and I'm providing you additional audio and video presentations about them. But if you're not sure what I expect, please ask. Please ask. I'm here to help you. And how do you get help in this class is that you'll see in the class that we have a Q&A form, a question and answer form. I really would like you to post your questions about the class in the Q&A form first. The reason why I want to use the Q&A form versus you sending me an email is more than likely if you have a question and other students in the class have the exact same question. So post your questions there, look around, see if anybody else has posted the same question. If you have any information that you want to, if you think you know the answer, go ahead and answer, respond back. Let's develop a community of learners in this course to help each other in this program. Since this is a cohort, you're going to be in this classes with the same students while you're in this program. So hopefully you get to know one another. I'll typically get back to you pretty quickly. I'll get back to you within maybe in a couple hours and maybe the next day, but within 24 hours I'll respond to your question in the Q&A form. If your question is personal, grades, absence, and all those type of things, please email me directly. I'll respond to you usually pretty quickly, but I'll get back to you within 24 hours. I was going to say something else that popped in my head. Hopefully it comes back to me. We have a lot of forms in this class. Forms are considered class time. I do ask that you respect one another and treat this time as important. When responding to other students, do not remark concerning the quality of the person's posting. You can say, "Hey, I like what you said," but we really want to address why you agree or disagree with the points this person has described. We want to learn from one another in our forums. We want to help one another grow, especially in what we're going to be talking about in this class with the courage and calling assignments. Hopefully we can learn from one another through reading that text. I just remember what I was going to say. To be successful in this program, and probably I've told each one of you on the phone when we did our phone interview, do a little bit every single day in your classes. Don't wait till the last minute. As I was saying earlier, carve out time in your daily schedule that you're doing something in your classes. That can be reading, that can be writing, that can be responding to threaded discussions. But do something every single day in your classes. Don't wait till the last minute. You're spending a lot of money for this degree. I want you to get the most you can out of this program. So every single day, do a little bit. An hour here, half an hour there. Whenever you can carve that time out, that's the advantage of this program, is that it's flexible when you can do your various assignments. Now you'll see with the late information here too, is that if you turn your assignments in late, it's 25% point reduction right off the top. And each day it's late, it's 25% more. So don't turn things in late. Get things turned in on time. Now we're all adults here, at least I think we are. Let's treat each other with it as adults. If something's going on in your life, let me know about it. Just be honest with me. Yeah, we're all busy. Each one of us is busy. Being busy at work is not an excuse not to get your work done on time. Occasionally, I understand that. People get sick. We all do. All I ask is that you communicate that with me. Email me. Communicate, text me, let me know what's going on. Now, if it's a habitual thing, that's a different story. that's when we need to have a different discussion about, is this the right fit for you as a program. But something's coming up, just let me know. I'm willing to work with you. But let's be adults about this, and let's work together for you to be successful in this class. And we'll end with, I hope I get to know you a lot better through our time in this course, and I look forward to our semester together.